It was December. For most, it would mean the holidays were here. Children were giggling and full of excitement about Santa Claus, and Cacao Town was filled with decorations and lights. In the backyard of the Pelikai house was a spaceship, neatly parked. Inside were Gantu and Ruben, who were spending the holidays on Earth after their first mission had successfully completed 2 months before. Gantu was watching a soap opera, but Ruben was doing something else. He was putting up a small but sturdy Christmas tree. He moved the box of decorations next to the tree, humming "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." "Hey, Gantu, want to come help me decorate this beauty?" Gantu nodded with agreement, beaming with joy at the sight of Ruben independently moving on his own. Nearly 4 weeks ago, Ruben was deathly ill, unable to move around, and he was barely able to speak. Even at the Thanksgiving party, he was worn out and exhausted, and he had a very rough-sounding voice. But now it was Christmas season. His voice was less raspy, and he was back on his feet, laughing and celebrating to his heart's content. Together, they decorated a beautiful tree. For some reason, with all the decorations, the tree seemed to look bigger. Even though the tree was short, Ruben was even shorter. Gantu helped him put the star at the very top. Ruben stared at the star, but he realized something was missing. He pulled an ornament with a picture frame out of the box. The picture had Ruben on Gantu's shoulder, eating a PB&J sandwich and making funny faces with him. Ruben smiled as he picked it up and put it in the tree. He looked to Gantu, saying, "It looks perfect." He paused as he stared into the center with the picture. "It's the most beautiful tree I've ever seen." Gantu smiled at that statement. Early the next morning, Gantu sat and sipped his huge mug of morning coffee. He listened to the quiet noise coming from the radio as he stared out the window, watching the sun. Ruben was still asleep, and Gantu was going to sleep a little longer, but for some reason he couldn't. Christmas was in 2 days, and he still needed to get Ruben a gift. He remembered hearing a fellow crew member say, "Just get him a sandwich." However, Gantu knew that Ruben was wanting something more. His saxophone was destroyed on a mission, and it saddened him. Gantu also knew how much of a fan Ruben was to Leroy Moore. It was a great feeling to look up to a celebrity, and a musician like Moore was a great role model for Ruben. Ruben didn't seem to have much breath in his little body, but he played the sax like a natural. He hadn't been able to play the sax since his respiratory infection either. Whenever Gantu heard Ruben playing his sax, it brought him a feeling of comfort and satisfaction he couldn't explain or fathom. Gantu snapped out of his daydream when he heard small footsteps and a yawn. "Morning, G," Ruben said softly. "How long have you been up?" "I thought I heard you at 4-ish this morning?" "I was up for 2 hours, I think. I kind of lost track of the time." Ruben nodded, yawned once more, and grabbed himself a small mug. He filled it up with coffee and sat down to drink it with Gantu. Gantu and Ruben were drawn to coffee ever since Lilo started drinking it. It kept them awake and tasted rather nice. Ruben didn't have much of a crazy behavior or Stitch when he drank it, but it made him feel more confident in doing computer work and kitchen duty without falling asleep as easily. Gantu liked that it kept him awake as well. He didn't want to fall asleep on captain duty. "Christmas shopping really wears you out, eh?" Ruben said under a small sip of coffee. "Yes, it does," Gantu answered softly. "Ha! I know for a fact it does. I got 600 and whatever cousins and it drives me crazy. Good thing I don't have to buy an individual item for each individual experiment." Gantu pondered this. Ruben had also been shopping for the family as well. Even if he ordered most of the gifts, he did on a low budget. It was a lot of work. "Hey, Salmon Socks, something specific on your mind?" Gantu bit his lips. Ruben had pointed out his behavior in being quiet and thought. Well, I've been thinking a lot about the holidays and, I don't know." Ruben raised a brow. "Okay, so I have been thinking about you, Ruben. You know, I want to make holidays special for you." "Aw, shucks. Thank you, G. But you know, it's already special," Ruben responded as he put down his empty mug. "I'm with you, Gantu. Then it's already special." Gantu smiled. Ruben was so happy this week, and he could understand why. Christmas was Ruben's favorite holiday, aside from National Sandwich Day, of course. And although Gantu didn't understand the joy from it before, he did now.